The WNBA believed the controversy surrounding the Indiana Fever versus Golden State Valkyries matchup was finally fading. But now the situation may have turned into an even bigger scandal. Viral social media posts, circulating screenshots, and mounting fan outrage claim veteran Valkyries guard Tiffany Hayes allegedly encouraged threatening comments aimed at Caitlin Clark, sparking massive backlash across the basketball world.
Tiffany Hayes went on social media and did this.
I got some cousins we don't speak about that will ride at dawn upon request. Just let me know. Ha 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 ha. That's real.
The WNBA needs to come out and suspend her ass. You are pushing for physical harm and violence on Caitlin Clark because she busted you in a basketball game. Tiffany Hayes, you ought to be ashamed.
If the league quietly moves toward a suspension, as insiders reportedly suggest, the fallout could become one of the biggest public relations nightmares the WNBA has faced since Caitlin Clark arrived and transformed the league spotlight into
Tiffany Hayes still steaming over getting embarrassed.
Tiffany Hayes pushing for physical violence versus Caitlin Clark off the floor even. It is insanity.
What a crybaby and a sore loser you are. Please be careful, Caitlin. Tip Hayes is a thug and her thug fans are coming for you.
If you're a true Caitlin Clark supporter and believe the WNBA should protect its biggest superstar, fans online are urging people to flood the comments with "Suspend Tiffany Hayes 100%. But before emotions take over, let's separate basketball trash talk from what many believe cross a line. Competitive fire has always been part of sports. Clark talks, Hayes talks, and legends like Diana Taurasi and Michael Jordan built careers on intensity and mind games. Fans actually enjoyed the heated atmosphere during the Fever versus Valkyries showdown because it felt authentic and emotional. However, controversy exploded after alleged screenshots from threads began circulating online, showing posts some fans interpreted as threatening comments directed at Clark, creating massive backlash across social media.
Why is there a double standard in the WNBA? If any troll does anything in the name of the Indiana Fever, the commish investigates. But Tiffany Hayes can threaten Caitlin Clark online with violence and the WNBA does nothing. What type of precedent is this, where only violence against Clark is acceptable for the last 2 years? She's white and she's straight.
You should not be interacting and encouraging physical harm, and you should not be going online and pushing for things to happen to.
What stunned fans wasn't only the alleged comment themselves, but how Tiffany Hayes reportedly responded. Viral screenshots claim Hayes replied with phrases like "that's real" while interacting with the posts. And within minutes, social media erupted into massive controversy and backlash.
I talk ish because you're never on my teams, but I was ready to support your crash out. Tiffany Hayes responds, "That's fair."
Fans quickly began tagging the WNBA commissioner while questioning whether the league's "No Space for Hate" campaign is truly enforced equally for everyone. Many pointed out that the WNBA previously investigated alleged fan behavior tied to controversies surrounding Caitlin Clark during the heated Indiana Fever and Chicago Sky rivalry involving Angel Reese. The league reportedly reviewed claims of inappropriate fan remarks. Now, however, critics online are asking what happens if controversy appears to come from within the league itself. The situation became even more serious because Clark has already faced legitimate safety concerns before. Earlier reports involving an alleged stalking incident sparked major discussions about player protection and security across the WNBA. That's why many fans argue this cannot simply be dismissed as social media drama or internet jokes. With Clark now considered one of the most recognizable athletes in America, every public interaction involving her instantly draws massive attention and scrutiny.
The lack of professionalism in this league, it's a joke. It's disgusting. Tiffany Hayes is now blocking people on social media because they're calling her out for her immaturity and the stupidity.
There's no denying that Caitlin Clark has become the face of the WNBA. Attendance numbers have surged, television ratings continue climbing, merchandise sales are booming, and arenas across the country are selling out whenever the Indiana Fever arrive. Even major sports networks that rarely discussed women's basketball before are now leading broadcasts with Clark highlights and Fever storylines. Much of the league's exploding popularity, media attention, and growing television value has happened during the Clark era, which is why this latest controversy is creating such a major public relations problem for the WNBA. To many fans following the drama online, it feels like the league still has not figured out how to properly protect its biggest superstar. Over the past 2 seasons, Clark has repeatedly been involved in physical matchups, viral confrontations, and ongoing hostility from opposing players and fan bases. With every new incident, the criticism grows louder across social media. Some fans are now openly questioning whether jealousy and resentment toward Clark are being allowed to spiral out of control. Reports from insiders claim league officials are under heavy pressure to respond somehow, whether through fines, public statements, sensitivity training, or possible discipline involving Tiffany Hayes. Many fans believe staying silent could seriously damage the WNBA's credibility even further.
She needs to be fined and suspended. There's no way she should be able to play in the next game.
A 36-year-old vet is publicly laughing and liking hateful posts calling for targeting of Caitlin Clark to be injured. This is year 3. You have done nothing to protect a star player who is beat to shit every game in hopes of injury by jealous, violent role players.
The pressure surrounding the WNBA is now reaching levels the league likely never anticipated. What started as basketball drama has exploded far beyond sports circles, with commentators, YouTubers, fan pages, and mainstream personalities all asking the same question. How did the environment around Caitlin Clark become this toxic? Since Clark entered the league, controversy has followed almost nonstop. Hard fouls, heated trash talk, viral confrontations, online feuds after fever games, and players openly criticizing her fan base. Now, the latest backlash involving Tiffany Hayes allegedly interacting with threatening online comments has only intensified the debate. Many fans believe the WNBA unintentionally helped create this atmosphere. For months, critics often framed Clark supporters as the biggest source of negativity in women's basketball, with nearly every controversy somehow circling back to Fever fans. But now the spotlight has shifted completely. Social media users are questioning why there appears to be far less accountability when hostility is directed toward Clark herself. And with the league experiencing record attention and growth, many believe the timing of this controversy could not be worse for the WNBA public.
So these things are to be taken serious, regardless if you want to or not.
The WNBA is currently going through a level of growth it has never experienced before. Television ratings are rising sharply, Indiana Fever ticket prices continue to climb, celebrities are regularly appearing courtside, and merchandise sales have reached record-breaking levels. The influence of Caitlin Clark on this surge is widely acknowledged, and that is exactly why the ongoing controversy has become such a sensitive issue behind the scenes. Many fans argue that if the public begins to believe the WNBA is tolerating behavior directed at its biggest star, sponsors, broadcasters, and media partners will inevitably take notice. What might have once been considered simple social media drama is now being viewed as a matter of league reputation, brand protection, and long-term business impact. Sources close to the situation suggest there is growing internal frustration over veteran players continuing to engage in or amplify online narratives instead of helping reduce tension surrounding Clark and the Indiana Fever. At the same time, some social media users have claimed that Tiffany Hayes allegedly began blocking large numbers of critics after the backlash intensified, rather than directly addressing the situation. For many fans, that action only fueled further outrage, as they interpreted it as indirect acknowledgement that the situation had escalated too far. However, others within the league are reportedly trying to downplay the controversy, insisting that fans are overreacting and that the comments circulating online were never meant to be taken literally. Critics strongly disagree, arguing that professional athletes with large platforms must be aware of how public perception works, especially when it involves Clark, whose popularity generates intense reactions from both supporters and detractors alike. To many observers, the entire situation highlights a deeper divide within the WNBA between long-established veterans and the new era of attention, visibility, and influence brought in during the Clark era.
As a mandatory part of this CBA agreement and these players getting all this new money, etc., the WNBA should have enforced mandatory social media and media training.
Caitlin Clark brought millions of new viewers into women's basketball. But with that attention came jealousy, resentment, and nonstop culture war arguments online. Some players have embraced the spotlight. Others clearly seem uncomfortable with how much attention Clark receives compared to longtime veterans. And fans see it. They see the body language. They see the interviews. They see the social media interactions. They see how emotional some opponents become after losing to Clark or getting cooked by one of her logo threes. That's why this latest controversy exploded so fast. To many people, it didn't feel like an isolated moment. It felt like another chapter in a much larger story that has been building ever since Caitlin Clark entered the league. Now, the entire basketball world is waiting to see what happens next. Will the WNBA actually punish Tiffany Hayes to send a message? Will the league release a statement trying to calm the situation down? Or will officials stay silent and hope the story disappears in a few days? Because if they do nothing, fans are already saying it will confirm their worst fears that the league continues holding Caitlin Clark to one standard, while everyone else operates under another. And if the backlash keeps growing, this controversy could end up doing serious damage to the WNBA's reputation at the exact moment the league should be celebrating its biggest boom ever period.
This pathetic WNBA player should not be interacting on social media with fans joking about causing player harm.
Would the WNBA respond differently if a player publicly engaged with threatening comments aimed at someone other than Caitlin Clark?